Welcome to Message from God with Carolina. I was taking a walk today and I was speaking with the Lord. He was showing me something that really, it didn't blow my mind in like a crazy way, but I was just very amazed and I marveled at this, and it kind of really slowed down my perception. What he was showing me is that there are a lot of changes to take place, and I pray that you take this to the Lord. It is actually both spiritual and physical. A lot of things are going to be moved around, shuffled around, right? And he wanted me to make it very clear in this word today that when he puts his plans and purpose into our living construct, which is space and time for us, he does not just cut people off without finishing his purpose in these individuals. So what I'm going to dig a little deeper. So what this means is that if God has purposed for you to live a certain life that has X, Y, and Z needs to be completed within your life, certain actions, whether it be, you get a job in this career track, you end up having X amount of kids, and and this happens within your family. That's just as an example. By the time he allows for a person to pass away, it is not like God's plan was interrupted by death. He wants this to be a very clear message today, because he's seeing that many people, including myself, this is why I received this word, we perceive time as though death is the end, and like we need to accomplish certain things by that expiration date. And so he wants to shift that. Although it is true, we do have goals. Of course, we are not here forever on this earth. He wants to make it very clear that within the time that he knows that he has allotted for each of us individually, everything still goes according to his plan. So what that means is, when we perceive life from fresh eyes and we think, by my 20s, I need to accomplish these goals. By my 30s, these are my goals. By my 40s. If the Lord has spoken that his return is to come, and of course we do not know the day and time, it is not something for us to panic. The miracles and blessings within your life, even before his coming, even if it is, let's say, we have three or four more generations before his coming. We don't know, right? So before your time ends, he is showing me that blessings and your promise and your purpose, if you are aligned with God, they will still come to pass. And he showed it to me in this specific way. It's kind of like when you have a paper or a map or something wrinkled, or kind of like in an accordion, and sometimes instead of having one flat piece of paper where we can actually see all of the lines and the chronology between each event in your life, he's saying that sometimes he will rush processes at a certain period of time because it has to happen in your life. Before you were born, he has planned a life for you. He knew you before you were in your mother's womb. So that is something that he's trying to specify. His plan does not get interrupted. I did release a word a day or two ago about the enemy having to have his plans interrupted whenever we rebuke him and we continue following Christ, right? He has to scrap it. But with Jesus, it's different. He knew you before you were in your mother's womb. Therefore, he planned this life for you and the timing of everything as well. So this is a confirmation or a word of encouragement, really, so that someone watching won't be so panicked about all of these things that either they have been seeing needs to happen, whether it be your own goals, or maybe the Lord has spoken certain things to you and you're just like, how is this going to happen? Within what time? How is it possible? Well, he says sometimes he will condense a series of events in your life and make things happen, 1, 2, 3, and against our fresh view of life, whereas we kind of time things in a spaced out manner. He doesn't do it that way, and he will not cut your life off without you having fulfilled the purpose that he has planned for you. He says in his eyes, it is enough. The life that I have planned for you is exactly enough as part of my bigger plan. Okay, it's not something that's going to be interrupted. You are not a wasted project. You are not something that will be resented as in generations to come. You are not someone who will have an unfinished life, because if you are following Christ, everything is in alignment with his will, and he will actually be he will actually find honor in your obedience because you are going to allow him to do things in his timing. See, that's why a lot of times we don't fall into alignment with Christ, because we're so stuck on having things in a certain time and plan, and we get so obsessed with the order of things and our structures, and so by the time we pass, or we're almost going to pass, there's a lot of regret, right? So that's why God is just showing this to someone right now, that if you continue to walk in Christ and have alignment with him, you don't have to worry. Things might happen, 10 huge milestones might happen within 1 year for you, and you will be amazed that God was able to do it, even though you didn't see that was possible, or even though you may have initially perceived that it takes a lot more time to do these things. For God, it can happen. It's possible. So whatever it is that's making you think that you don't have time to accomplish the things that God has shown you, or to walk into the things that your heart desires according to the will of God, he's saying, don't worry about those things. I have purpose for you, and my plan will not be cut off in your life. It's going to happen. You just need to continue trusting in God, and you need to continue allowing for him to do things in his way. Give him that room, give him that flexibility, and put down those walls, put down those rules that you created that no one else has forced upon you. That this was something that you thought at some point was necessary because that was your way of viewing life. Well, if you have found Christ and you've started walking with him, then it's time for you to release those things, because he's about to do a lot of major changes. He's about to make a lot of major changes in your life, and he needs you to put that down, and you will see that when you stretch out everything in time, your span of life, when you look at it and actually iron it out, he will have made so many things happen in your life in rush time, just in time, so that you can actually bring to completion his purpose for you. So no worries there. He wants to just reassure you, it's all going to work out as part of his plan. He knew you before you were in your mother's womb, and he will surely make it happen. He said to me that he knows the end from the beginning. So please do not forget that. He is the Almighty. He does not have any incomplete project, and you are a part of his plan. So I pray that this blesses you. Thank you.